Emma Parker sat by the window, staring at the soft rain falling over the quiet streets of Boston. She held her coffee mug tightly, feeling the warmth seep into her hands. But inside, there was a chill she couldn't shake. The house was calm, almost too calm, and the silence reminded her that life had changed dramatically over the past 3 years. Since her divorce, she had been raising her 16-year-old son, Nathan, alone. While she loved him deeply, lately he had been distant. Nathan had grown quiet, spending long hours in his room with his laptop or school books, and the lively, talkative boy she had once known seemed to have vanished. Emma thought back to the times when Nathan would run to her after school, telling her everything about his day, laughing, sharing small joys and little worries. Those days seemed far away now. She missed the connection they had once shared, and the emptiness weighed on her more than she wanted to admit. Even her work, which she usually threw herself into, couldn't fill the quiet void at home. On this rainy afternoon, as she sorted through old boxes in the attic, Emma stumbled upon a stack of family photos. She picked up a picture of herself holding Nathan as a toddler. Both of them were laughing, faces sunlit, full of life. Her chest tightened as nostalgia hit her. Those memories were beautiful but bittersweet. She realized she hadn't made enough effort to understand the walls Nathan was building around himself. She wondered if he felt the same emptiness she did, if he felt she had drifted away. The thought struck her like a small lightning bolt she couldn't let their relationship slip further. She wanted to reconnect, to bridge the gap before it became permanent. Emma promised herself she would try harder, not just to be present physically but emotionally. She would listen, pay attention, and show Nathan that she was there for him. Without judgment or pressure. The next morning brought an unexpected shift. Emma had gotten used to the routine. Breakfast alone, Nathan running late or silently eating while glued to his phone. But today, he appeared holding something small and wrapped neatly in paper. "For you," he said, his voice soft and careful, avoiding her eyes. Emma's heart skipped a beat. She took the gift gently, unsure of what to expect, and opened it to find a handmade bracelet. It wasn't expensive or fancy, but it was thoughtful, personal, and clearly made with care. Emotion welled up inside her as she looked at Nathan. "Nathan, this is beautiful," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "Thank you." He shrugged, still avoiding eye contact, and muttered something about wanting to fix things between them. That small moment, a simple gesture, carried weight far beyond its size. Emma felt the first crack in the wall between them, the beginning of something new. Over the next few days, subtle changes appeared. Nathan began joining her at breakfast, asking about her day, and even offering help with small chores around the house. These small acts weren't dramatic, but they were meaningful. Emma realized that rebuilding their connection would not happen overnight. It would be a series of small steps, moments that gradually brought them closer. Each smile, each shared word, was like laying a brick in a new foundation for their relationship. One afternoon, Emma suggested a walk in the park, a place they used to visit together when Nathan was younger. At first, he hesitated, unsure, almost reluctant. But eventually he agreed. The park was bathed in late afternoon sunlight, golden and soft, with leaves rustling gently in the wind. For the first time in months they talked openly, about school, hobbies, and even fears and dreams. Nathan laughed at a story Emma told from her own teenage years, and she found herself laughing too. A sound she hadn't realized she had missed. Emma noticed something important during that walk. Nathan was not just a teenager growing into adulthood. He was a thoughtful, emotional young man trying to navigate the challenges of his life. She began to see him differently, appreciating his independence but also sensing the vulnerability he hid behind a quiet exterior. She realized that while she wanted to guide him, she also needed to respect his growth, to give him space while remaining emotionally present. By the time they returned home, the air between them had shifted. It wasn't a complete transformation, but it was significant. A small gesture had sparked something much bigger. The possibility of reconnecting, of rebuilding trust and closeness. Emma felt hope for the first time in months. A gentle warmth replacing the emptiness she had carried. She understood that relationships, especially between parent and child, could be fragile, but with patience, honesty, and love, they could also be resilient and deep. As she watched Nathan retreat to his room later that evening, Emma realized that she had taken the first step. She didn't know exactly what the future held, but she felt ready to face it with him. The quiet tension that had existed between them was starting to fade, replaced by understanding and an unspoken promise to rebuild their bond. For the first time in a long time, Emma felt that their relationship could become something even stronger than it had been before. And just like that, a rainy afternoon in Boston had set the stage for a journey neither of them had expected. A journey that could bring them closer than ever. The morning sun poured into the kitchen as Emma prepared breakfast, humming softly to herself. She almost didn't notice Nathan entering, holding a small package, carefully wrapped in brown paper. He placed it on the table, avoiding her eyes. "For you," he said quietly. Emma paused, her heart skipping a beat. It was a simple gesture, but somehow it carried a weight she hadn't expected. She carefully unwrapped it and found a handmade bracelet inside. It wasn't anything fancy, just a thin braided cord with a small charm, but it was perfect. Emma's chest tightened. She looked at Nathan, seeing a mix of hesitation and hope on his face. "Nathan, this is beautiful." "Thank you," she said softly. He gave a small shrug, mumbling, I wanted to fix things between us." Emma felt tears prick her eyes. In that moment, she realized that sometimes the smallest acts could carry the largest meanings. Over the next few days, their home atmosphere began to shift subtly. Nathan started joining her at breakfast instead of rushing off to his room. He would ask about her day or tell a joke to make her laugh. Emma noticed these small but meaningful changes, understanding that rebuilding their relationship would be a slow, careful process. Each little gesture, each smile, felt like a step toward closing the distance that had grown between them. One afternoon, Emma suggested they go for a walk in the park. Nathan hesitated at first, glancing down at his shoes as if unsure whether he really wanted to go. Emma smiled gently and said, "It'll be nice, just the two of us." After a brief pause, he nodded. The walk was quiet at first, filled with the sounds of birds and rustling leaves. Then Nathan began talking, slowly, about school and his friends. Emma listened, offering encouragement and laughter, and for the first time in months, she felt that familiar warmth of closeness returning. As they strolled, Nathan shared more than just casual updates. He spoke about the pressure he felt from school and the anxiety about his future. Emma realized how much he had been carrying inside, silently. She held his gaze and reassured him, letting him know it was okay to feel unsure, that she would be there no matter what. Nathan's shoulders relaxed, and he smiled a smile that reminded Emma of the boy who used to run to her every afternoon, laughing without a care in the world. The walk also revealed small but telling details about Nathan's personality. He had grown more reflective, thoughtful, and aware of others' feelings. Emma realized she needed to adjust her approach, to give him space while remaining emotionally available. She didn't need to fix everything for him. She just needed to be a steady presence, ready to listen and share life with him. Later that evening, they decided to cook dinner together. Nathan chopped vegetables with careful attention while Emma stirred the sauce. They laughed at small mistakes like when Nathan accidentally dropped a carrot slice on the floor and shared stories from their past. Cooking together became a bonding experience, a way to communicate without pressure, to enjoy each other's company in a natural and comforting way. Emma felt a deep sense of gratitude for these moments, realizing that closeness was built in the simple routines of everyday life. In the following days, their relationship continued to grow in quiet, meaningful ways. Nathan would sit next to Emma on the couch, sharing snippets of music he liked, or asking her opinion about something he was working on. Emma found herself looking forward to these interactions, cherishing them in a way she hadn't anticipated. She noticed that Nathan's small gestures, handing her a cup of tea, leaving a note on the counter, were signs of his care and his desire to reconnect. One evening, as they sat in the living room watching the sunset through the window, Nathan spoke in a voice that was almost shy. "Mum, I want us to be close again. Like we used to be. Maybe even better." Emma felt her heart swell with emotion. She reached out and held his hand, squeezing it gently. "I want that too, Nathan. We'll take it one step at a time. Together." He smiled, a mix of relief and hope in his eyes, and Emma realized that the bond they were rebuilding was stronger than she had imagined. It wasn't just about gestures or shared activities. It was about understanding, trust, and being emotionally present. Emma saw the depth of Nathan's feelings, the thoughtfulness he put into everything he did to show he cared. And Nathan, in turn, noticed Emma's patience, her warmth, and her willingness to meet him where he was emotionally. They began to communicate in a way that was honest and gentle, creating a safe space for both of them to share joys, frustrations, and fears. By the end of the week, Emma felt a subtle but powerful shift. The invisible wall that had existed between them was cracking, replaced by openness and affection. The little bracelet, the shared meals, the walks in the park, they were all pieces of a larger puzzle, moments that strengthened their bond and allowed them to see each other in a new light. Emma understood that rebuilding a relationship required patience, attention, and emotional investment, but the results were deeply rewarding. As they prepared for bed one night, Nathan lingered at the doorway. "Thanks for spending time with me today, Mom," he said softly. Emma smiled, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. "Thank you too, Nathan. I'm glad we're talking again." That small exchange carried more meaning than words could describe. It was the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship, one filled with hope, care, and the promise of a deeper connection. And in that quiet, warm moment, Emma realized something important. Closeness wasn't just about being in the same room. It was about showing up emotionally, sharing life, and being present in ways that mattered most. With Nathan taking the first steps toward reconnection, Emma felt confident that their relationship could grow stronger than ever, built on trust, love, and understanding. That evening, Emma and Nathan decided to sit on the porch, the sun setting behind the trees and casting a warm glow across the yard. There was a quietness between them, but it felt comfortable, the kind of calm that hinted at honesty and openness. Nathan fiddled with the hem of his sleeve, glancing down at the wooden boards beneath his feet. Emma watched him carefully, sensing that he had something on his mind. She didn't interrupt, letting him gather his words. Finally, he spoke. "Mum, I've been feeling, I don't know, disconnected from you," he admitted, his voice low but steady. "I know I've been distant, and I didn't mean to hurt you. I guess I didn't know how to say it." Emma's heart tightened. Relief and sadness mixed together, relief that he was opening up, sadness that he had felt so alone in the silence. She reached out, placing her hand over his. "Oh, Nathan, I felt it too," she said softly. "I missed you." I was scared I'd lost my chance to be close to you again. Nathan looked at her, a flicker of vulnerability in his eyes. I want us to be like we used to. Maybe even better, he whispered. Emma smiled, tears brimming, feeling the weight of his words. It was a moment of honesty, a breakthrough that neither of them had realized they needed so badly. She squeezed his hand, assuring him that the path to rebuilding their relationship could begin here, in the quiet comfort of shared understanding. They talked for hours, at first cautiously, then more openly. Nathan shared the fears he had been keeping inside about school, fitting in, and the pressure he felt to succeed. Emma listened, offering gentle guidance and encouragement without judgment. She realized that understanding Nathan's perspective, giving him space to speak freely, was more important than trying to control or direct his feelings. In turn, Nathan appreciated her patience and the warmth in her responses, something he hadn't fully acknowledged until now. As the conversation continued, Emma and Nathan laughed together at small shared memories. They recalled moments from Nathan's childhood, the silly mistakes he had made, the games they played, the afternoons spent exploring the neighborhood. Those memories, once distant, now served as bridges to the present, reminding them both of the bond they had shared before life had become complicated. The laughter eased the tension, creating a space where honesty could thrive alongside joy. Nathan also admitted the guilt he had been carrying for withdrawing emotionally. He didn't want to seem rude or ungrateful, he explained, but sometimes he didn't know how to express himself. Emma reassured him that it was okay to feel confused or unsure, that everyone had moments when words didn't come easily. She emphasized that their connection didn't depend on perfection. It depended on being willing to show up, to try, and to care. Nathan nodded, the relief visible in his relaxed posture and gentle smile. In that quiet evening light, they discovered something new about each other. Emma saw Nathan not just as her son, but as a thoughtful young man, capable of deep feelings and reflections. Nathan, in turn, saw his mother as more than a parent. She was a guide, a confidant, and a person who genuinely wanted to understand him. Their relationship began to shift from one of routine and distance to one of intentional connection, built on honesty, trust, and mutual respect. After the sun dipped below the horizon, Emma suggested they continue their conversation while taking a short walk around the yard. Nathan agreed. As they strolled, he spoke about dreams he hadn't shared before, small hopes for the future that seemed to carry weight but also excitement. Emma listened, offering gentle encouragement, helping him see that it was okay to aim high and feel uncertain at the same time. They talked about school projects, hobbies, and even silly things that made them laugh. Each shared moment strengthened the bond between them, turning their connection into something alive and present. Later, as they returned to the porch, Nathan paused, looking at Emma with a softness she hadn't seen in months. "Mom, I don't want us to drift apart again," he said quietly. Emma's chest swelled with emotion. "We won't," she promised, squeezing his hand once more. "We'll take it day by day, together." The words felt right, like a gentle vow between them, a promise to prioritize their relationship, to nurture the closeness they were rebuilding. That night, Nathan lingered longer than usual in their conversation, sharing small fears about growing up, about friendships, and about navigating the changes in his life. Emma responded with calm reassurance, emphasizing that he wasn't alone. She shared some of her own experiences from when she was his age, laughing at past mistakes and highlighting the lessons she had learned. Nathan listened attentively, absorbing not just the advice, but the understanding and care behind it. By the time they finally ended the conversation, a sense of calm and connection had settled between them. The invisible wall that had existed for months was no longer impenetrable. It was still fragile, yes, but it had cracks now. Cracks through which light, understanding, and love could flow. Emma felt a deep sense of hope. This honesty, this willingness to communicate and share emotions, was exactly what they needed to rebuild their closeness. Before heading inside for the night, Nathan rested his head on Emma's shoulder. A simple gesture that spoke volumes. It was a sign of trust, of comfort, and of the emotional bond that had started to mend. Emma wrapped her arm around him, feeling the warmth and sincerity in that small, intimate moment. She realized that relationships required effort, patience and courage, but the rewards trust, connection, and love were more than worth it. As they finally went inside, Emma felt a quiet excitement for what lay ahead. The distance between her and Nathan had begun to dissolve, replaced by a closeness that neither of them had expected, but both had needed. And in that moment, she knew their relationship could grow stronger than ever, built on honesty, emotional presence, and a genuine desire to be there for each other. A few days after their heartfelt conversation, Emma suggested a weekend getaway to a small lakeside cabin, a place they had visited when Nathan was younger. He hesitated at first, unsure if he wanted to spend that much time together, but when Emma explained that it could be fun and relaxing, he agreed. The drive there was filled with light chatter, music and laughter that felt effortless, a sign that the walls between them were continuing to fade. Emma watched Nathan from the passenger seat and felt a sense of warmth she hadn't experienced in years. He was opening up in ways she had only hoped for. Upon arrival, the cabin smelled of pine and wood, comforting and familiar. Nathan immediately began exploring, touching the windowsills and peering at the lake outside. Emma smiled, feeling a quiet joy in seeing him curious and engaged again. They unpacked together, working side by side, sharing small jokes and playful comments. Cooking their first meal together was a new experience, but it became a bonding moment. Nathan chopped vegetables carefully, and Emma guided him gently when he struggled with the knife. When a carrot slipped from his hand and rolled onto the floor, they both laughed freely, the sound echoing in the cabin. Later, as evening fell and the sky painted itself in oranges and purples, Emma and Nathan sat on the porch with mugs of cocoa. The lake reflected the colors of the sky, and a soft breeze carried the scent of pine and fresh water. Nathan handed Emma a small sketchbook he had been working on secretly. Inside were drawings of them together, scenes from childhood trips, small moments in their daily life, and imagined adventures they might take in the future. Each page showed care, thought, and emotion, and Emma felt tears prick her eyes. She hugged him tightly, feeling the love and effort he had put into such a personal gift. "Nathan, this is incredible," she whispered. He smiled shyly, clearly happy that she appreciated it. The weekend passed in a series of small, intimate moments that stitched them closer together. They cooked meals, played board games, and took walks along the lakeshore. Emma noticed how Nathan would sometimes pause, look at her, and share something small, a memory, a joke, or a thought about his day. She realized that this was the true meaning of connection: presence, attention, and shared experiences. They didn't need extravagant gestures. Their closeness was built in the simple routines and quiet laughter they shared. One afternoon, while sitting under a large oak tree, Nathan spoke with surprising maturity. "Mom, I think I understand now why we drifted apart before. We didn't always talk, and I didn't say how I felt. But I want us to be honest with each other from now on." Emma nodded, smiling warmly. "I feel the same way, Nathan. We'll always try to understand each other, no matter what." His eyes brightened, and a weight seemed to lift from both of them. It was a moment of clarity, a turning point in their relationship. where past misunderstandings and emotional distance were replaced with trust and hope. That evening, they sat by the fire, letting the crackling warmth fill the room. Emma reflected on the past weeks, the bracelet Nathan had given her, their walks, their talks, and realized how far they had come. She had learned to see Nathan not just as her son, but as a growing young man capable of thought, reflection, and emotional depth. Nathan, in turn, had begun to understand his mother not only as a parent, but as someone who could truly listen, empathize, and share in his life. They had discovered a new balance, a blend of independence and closeness that felt just right. As the firelight flickered, Emma and Nathan shared dreams for the future. Nathan spoke about college, hobbies, and the small adventures he wanted to have. Emma offered guidance and encouragement, letting him know she would support his choices while respecting his independence. They laughed at shared memories, discussed small worries, and even planned little trips they could take together in the months ahead. Each conversation, each